Hey guys, it's Brian. We're back in the garage with the Frostbite JL, and today we're swapping out a bumper. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alright guys, so today we're swapping out our front bumper. This one's going to be an aluminum one. This one's from Next Venture Motorsports, and it is their featherweight series. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So this is their featherweight front bumper. I did get it with the Stinger option on here. This one does come in at about 30 pounds less than my current bumper from Rugged Ridge, so we're going to save some weight on the front. It also comes with a beefy steel winch plate, so we'll take a look at that here in a minute. We're going to go ahead and uninstall this front bumper, and then we're going to work on getting this guy installed. All right, here we go. Another thing I want to point out is another reason we're going with a narrower bumper is this current one has some sharp metal edges here. I've actually already trimmed a section of that off, but it has been really digging into our tires. So that's not good. We don't want to destroy these tires. So this new one will sit about here, so we're going to gain quite a bit of clearance. Another reason why I want to get rid of this one, and we're going to save some weight. So let's go ahead and finish pulling this off and we'll get that new one on. So now we've got that outer shell of the Rugged Ridge bumper off. We just got the winch plate. We're going to go ahead and pull the winch off. And then I need to go ahead and pull this lower skid plate. This is for the Rubicon sway bar disconnect. I don't have that, so I think I might go ahead and come in here and cut these guys off. We're going to see how it looks with the new bumper. I believe you can still run this factory skid with the Next Venture bumper, but we'll see how it goes. I have hit it before, as you can tell, so it'd probably be nice to gain some clearance there. Alright, let's go ahead and finish tearing this apart. So we're going to go ahead and uninstall the winch now. Did go ahead and disconnect the negative and the positive here from the battery. We do have this ran underneath the airbox here, and then around the grill down to the winch. So we're going to go ahead, pull that all out, and then we should be able to pull out that winch for us. Alright, now the winch is out. Let's go ahead and pull these last couple 16 millimeters and we'll get the winch plate off. So this is our Next Venture Motorsports featherweight bumper here. So this bumper shell is going to be a 1/4 inch aluminum. This is pretty nice. We went ahead and coated this with a clear coat from Shark Hide. That'll protect the metal and keep it looking new. Then we also have a steel winch plate. It's going to be 3/16 inch steel, and it also comes with 1-inch recovery hooks. And we went ahead and put a coating of Steelite on there, so that'll protect that as well. Let's go ahead and get the winch on the winch plate, and we'll get it mounted on the Jeep. So we're just getting into our hardware pack that came with our new bumper. They do have it packaged really nice, and then on the box they provide, they go ahead and show you all the locations for these. So it's pretty easy. What we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to put these guys down on the bottom in this corner here, and then these little carriage bolts are going to go right here, and then we've also got some regular bolts and some carriage bolts here. The regular ones are going to go on the inside holes here, and then these carriage bolts are going to go on the outside ones here. So now we're going to go ahead and get our winch mounted up to our winch plate. So these are going to be 16 millimeter bolts. These are provided with your winch. What we're going to do is go ahead and bolt those up underneath. I did throw a little Loctite on them as well, but these are going to be torqued to 35 foot-pounds. Once we get that on, I'm going to put some conduit on our winch cable, and then we can go ahead and get her fitted up on the Jeep here. Okay, now that we got those torqued down to 35 foot-pounds, let's go ahead and put our wire loom on the power cable and the negative cable for our winch, and we can go ahead and get this up on the Jeep. So we went ahead and got the winch mounted up. That's all torqued up. Got our wire loom on our power negative wire there. So we went ahead and grabbed one of the big bolts to just kind of hold right there in the frame horns while we got it there, and then we're going to crawl up underneath here and we're going to get these bottom bolts in. So let's go ahead and we'll do that, and then we can see about getting the bumper skin on. So the trick to get these little 14 millimeters in is you do want to go ahead and put them through this little hole in the frame horn. That way you can pop them in, and that'll keep your winch plate from rotating out on you. So now that those are in, we've got these guys in place just so it doesn't fall on us. We're actually going to go ahead and we'll see about tightening those up. We'll get them snug, not all the way tight, and then we'll go ahead and get that bumper skin installed. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get this wired up. What we're going to do is go ahead and run our wires up underneath here, underneath the airbox, and we'll go ahead and pull it through up to the battery. So this is pretty easy. You just want to keep them together and then get them up there by the airbox. All right, here we go. Okay, so we kind of pulled it up underneath where the air box goes here. We're gonna run it through here and then around to the battery. We'll show you what it looks like when we're all done here. Okay, we went ahead and got all the winch wires hooked back up. Everything's back in. Don't forget to tighten back down your air intake. So now we can go ahead and work on getting that aluminum bumper cover on. Here we go. Okay guys, and one thing we figured out when you're looking at the back of the bumper, it only has 3 attachment points for the aluminum portion to the steel winch plate. So this carriage bolt on that bottom left corner and the bottom right corner can go ahead and be bolted down and torqued down. That way everything's lined up and you don't have to worry about the plate falling down while you're trying to get the bumper on. So a pretty cool design. We don't have to try to juggle that once we get the aluminum shell on. So let's go ahead and we'll torque these down. I'm going to torque them down to about 90 foot-pounds. And then we'll get the aluminum case on. All right, so one thing to note on this third carriage bolt here, it is quite hard to kind of get it up underneath here. So what we did is we went ahead and we ground off just one side of it just so it's flat, and that actually gives you just enough space to go ahead and kind of fish that in. Now that that's in, let's go ahead and we'll toss the other ones in, and then these bolts are going to go in these holes as well. And then we can go ahead and get her bolted up, and then we should be all done. We were finally able to get the bumper to fit over. We did have to go ahead and cut a decent amount off there with the grinder. Went ahead and sprayed it with some paint. We're going to go ahead and wallow out one of the holes in the bumper to try to get a bolt through. I'll kind of show you what's going on here in a second. So we're going to go ahead and open this out a little bit more this way, and that should be just enough to get this bolt in for this side. Alright, let's go ahead and get after it. So like I said, it was pretty hard to get this bolt in. We did go ahead and just drill another hole here and then kind of smooth it out, and we were able to get that bolt in. You could also cut this bolt a little shorter, but then you wouldn't have all the threads going through the nut. So we decided just to go ahead and open it up a little bit. It is aluminum, so it's pretty easy. Just use a drill bit and then you can kind of grind it out a little bit and it gets right in there. So now that we have all the bolts in, we can go ahead and throw the bumper on. Alright guys, so that's what she's going to look like. Turned out pretty nice, definitely looks good. Just had a few extra steps that we weren't quite expecting, but not a big deal. So we got our fair lead on there, and then we have all the nuts on here pretty loose. We wanted to go ahead and get everything lined up. Make sure everything was going to be good, and we'll go ahead and tighten those nuts now. Well, after we do that, we'll throw our winch hook back on and we should be all done. Okay guys, there she is. Got her all wrapped up. Went ahead and torqued all those bolts, those big 19mm bolts, to about 90 foot-pounds. So that should be on there nice and tight. We got everything back together. We got our winch hook back on there. We're going to go ahead and cinch it back up and we should be all done. I think I am going to go ahead and throw the factory skid plate back on, the one that goes underneath here. I didn't end up cutting those off. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with those yet, so I'll throw that back on for now. But that's going to be it guys. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Okay guys, that's going to do it for my next Venture Motorsports bumper install on the JL. This new aluminum bumper is great. I'm really excited about it. We did save about 30 pounds on the front. We also gained a ton of clearance for the tires, and it looks great as well. As far as the install goes, it was pretty easy. The couple steps where I did have to do a little extra grinding and drilling, I did reach out to Dan at Next Venture Motorsports, and he did show me their new design where they did a little keyhole with a slot for those carriage bolts. So that's cool that they went ahead and redesigned that and fixed that problem. Also, as far as putting my winch plate and my bumper together before you put it on the Jeep, that's what their instructions call for. I did go ahead and put the winch on the winch plate and then on the Jeep first. That did save me some time with trying to get the winch bolts in the rear, but you'll probably be better off following the instructions and putting them together off the Jeep than installing the winch later. It'd probably go a little smoother and you could probably save a little grinding. Wasn't a big deal, and we did get it all installed and went together great. It is only 8 bolts, so it's pretty easy. Alright guys, go ahead and like, subscribe, stay tuned. We do have a Moab trip coming up. Also, go ahead and check out the links down below. You can get yourself one of these bumpers. Use the code FROST10 and you'll save 10%. All right, we'll see you guys.